That was a pretty ugly session. It looks like the AI exhaustion is really setting into the market. A few really important things here that I've been talking about basically for the last 2 weeks. Risk radar kind of been on a heater. I flipped the light from green to yellow the day inflation hit on the 10th, and then red last Thursday on the risk of high correlation sell-off. That's what we got here today. There's a few still pieces missing. I feel like if we get slammed again tomorrow, you probably get more softness in Bitcoin, and gold probably breaks a little bit too, but you never know. This is not really a macro-driven thing right now. That's what's really important about this. It's different than the sell-offs that we got related to inflation concepts, rates. Bonds actually sold off a little bit, which could make the next couple days interesting as we get all the economic data, but primarily this is very much still a valuation, a tech story, and the market's failed rotation, trying to move away from the high quality stuff. That's always been the catch. Since inflation on the 10th, the market's tried to pivot, but it's pivoted into stuff that's not really well supported by the fundamentals. The earnings strength, ironically enough, is in the tech stuff, in the high quality trade. Look at the way the market has shaped out and the contour of the leadership since the 10th, which was when inflation hit. The Russell's still up a good bit, okay? Small caps still are looking pretty frothy. Nasdaq now down 7%, while the S&Ps are now bending lower to about a 3%. So since inflation hit, things haven't been well. That's the first thing to accept. Second is that we had extreme correlation in markets, okay? Rather, we're getting it now. We had extreme dispersion. The CBOE DSPX index, which measures dispersion, we went from highly concentrated into one area, the mega caps, and then we try to totally invert that and then go highly concentrated into the rest of the market, broaden out. That doesn't really work when you're going into cyclical groups, when you're going into groups that depend on the economy. The whole thought is that the rates trajectory for cuts is what's spurring this opportunity for the small caps and the economically centric stuff. But the evidence just isn't really there. Look again today at the housing numbers, new home sales, not looking good. Better hope that the data come in well over the next 48 hours. That's kind of the hope for bulls, because if we're gonna see correlation come together and dispersion drop, it's looking like that's gonna come with higher VIX at the moment. So you just are working through what was a really unsustainable concentration in the market. But here's then when it gets really tough. This is the part that makes it hard to see what the obvious bullish out saving grace is going to be. When you're trading down over the last 10 days roughly, the high quality tech where the earnings are, then the other companies aren't necessarily going to come to save us in earnings because they don't have great earnings. We're not going to see ballistic growth in any of the stuff really outside the Mag 7. Now, the two names that we got so far, though, are a little bit on the weaker side. Alphabet with no growth and Tesla with the margin problems. What's going to be so crucial is how we trade on Meta, on Apple, on Nvidia. But this is not a good way to start, because generally there's not a lot else to hold on to in the market, really. Look at the way the value trade here has been outperforming, but it's being caught up to by the anti-beta trade. BTAL is one of my favorite ways to kind of navigate the storm right now, because the fund goes against the high beta stuff, which had been the lower quality trades, the smaller mid-cap stuff. That high beta trade now came off today in a big way. So with tech coming off and the high beta trade, there's not a lot of places to hide. Bulls better hope inflation is light on Friday, or that we get a nice big earnings surprise, but so far this is bad.